Hello everybody, welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Leave your bias at the door. Here is the Championship review show for game week number 6. We're fighting our way through a 3-game week, so to keep things ticking along, we're in 2 parts this week. We did Tuesday night's games. There were 7 of them yesterday. That was on Wednesday. Today it's Thursday and we're doing Wednesday night's games. There is 5 of them right now. So we'll get to them in just a second. We're going to have a look at all the whys, wherefores, the goals and all the action there. First off, we need to give a shout out to our partners, fanfirst.co.uk. www.fanfirst.co.uk is the web address, and this is a user-generated ratings website. So you are the ones that go in and give these scores out of 10. Everybody loves to read those things in the newspaper. Everyone likes to disagree with them in the newspaper. So here's your chance to actually have your say. Just go in, register your team and your email, and then go and get rating. You can rate the players, the managers, the referees, even the VAR in the Premier League games. And it's a really good resource. I always talk about the tension between the statistics and my eye test. Some people want it all on the eye test. Some people want it all on the stats. I think a mixture of both is the right way. And this is becoming a really good think tank for doing that. Head over to www.fanfirst.co.uk. And, well, we're here saying thank you. Thank you to Russ Peake, a fan and now a friend despite Ben's terrible taste in football teams. Russ is the fan sponsor of the Championship preview show throughout the season. Here we go. You probably just saw them for a sec, but you can look at my face for 1 second more before we go across and look at the 5 games last night. It was at Vicarage Road. Watford 3, Blackburn 1, Stoke 2, Barnsley 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Brentford 2, QPR 0, Preston 2, Cardiff 1, Bournemouth 1. So, 5 games. Let's go first over to Watford and to Vladimir Ivic, who's getting a little reputation with me as quite the ruthless manager. Watford win again, this time over Blackburn, 3-1. Here is what the teams look like. In terms of Watford there, obviously one big name in up front, but still, he wants to play this 3 at the back. He's moved around Ivic. It's been Garner sometimes and sometimes not. It's been 1 up front and 2 supporting. Sometimes not. Keener, sometimes and sometimes not. Today, we get a midfield 3 and we get a front 2. And I quite like the look of this team in terms of star power. So Foster in goal, Wilmot, Kabasele and Cathcart. So no Troost Ekong starting. Firmino and Sema are the full-backs. So no Ngakia starting. He's been featured, I think, probably in all the games, hasn't he? Midfield 3, really like the look of that now. Cleverly, Chalobah and Garner. That looks like it's got a nice balance, actually. A little bit of everything in there. And then look on the benches, Etienne Capoue if you need him. Up top, João Pedro, the Wonder Boy, and Ismail Assar, the big name that we thought would leave for a big fee, but didn't. So he's going to play, and he's going to destroy some teams in the Championship by the look of yesterday. Again, looking at the bench, just the strength there. We already mentioned Troost Ekong and Ngakia and Capoue. There's Keener, Murray and Peritza on the bench as well. Watford looks stacked, and they look like they've got a manager who knows how to win a game here, and I'll tell you what I mean in just a jiffy. Blackburn, well, they were at it on deadline day, weren't they? And a few players coming in. We didn't see them at the weekend for the tight defeat against Forest, but they're coming into the squad and into the team last night. Kaminsky in goal, Nyambe, Lenihan, Ayala and Amari Bella, the back 4. But look on the bench, you will see Barry Douglas and Ainsley Pears. I wouldn't have thought Pears will get ahead of Kaminski, but Douglas, I can't think he's dropped down from Leeds to sit on the bench at Blackburn, so he'll challenge Amari Bell. Maybe give an option for a 3 at the back, because this is starting to look like tactically trending is 3 at the back, a couple of wing backs, and then trying to get 3 up front. Again, it's almost like now that footballers are so evenly skilled that we're starting to even them out across the pitch. And this 3-4-3 feels really the most evenly you can spread them out of all the formations, doesn't it? In midfield there, Evans, Holtby and Johnson. Again, look down on the bench. There is Tom Tribal who came in. And then Armstrong, Brereton, Harvey Elliott in there. So he's gone in over Torrey Stolen, who's started the season really, really well. But now it does look for Blackburn, if they've got Gallagher and Brereton for the big guy position, Armstrong presumably is going to be the number 9 come what may. And now Dolan and Elliott for the other position. Decent attacking options for Blackburn. However, they didn't have Ismail Assar, did they? Here is Watford taking the lead. João Pedro with the goal. He's just finishing that in from the penalty spot there with his left foot first time. What you don't see, and this is probably going to become a feature of Watford this season, is just a clinical, ruthless attack. Just one round the corner, down the line. The wing back must be Sema, mustn't it? On the overlap. Crosses it in first time finish. Don't need much possession for that. Bosch quality goal. And speaking of Bosch quality goal, here's number 2. That's Tom Cleverley heading the ball into an empty net with 4 Blackburn players standing and watching. That does not tell the story, because lying on his back on the right-hand side of the picture is Ismail Assar, who has quite brilliantly engineered that goal. It's just a long ball, a straight ball into him. He kind of heads it up in the air, then absolutely brilliant touchdown, moves away, hits the shot early, just kills them. He's so quick on the draw that all the defenders can't react, and Cleverley's just watching, waits for the rebound and heads it in. I think we're going to enjoy Sarr if he gets a run of games in this division, let's just say. What a goal this was, by the way. That is Brereton. He's chested that down. He's now going to hit it on the volley. And I was going to say he really catches Foster out early. But look, Foster looks ready for it if you look at the Watford keeper. But he gets a nice swerve on it. It's right into the corner and it bounces right at the perfect place. It's a really nice goal by Brereton. Same as Sarr there. 2 really good examples of just really decisive striker play. Just catching people early with that bit of quality. So well played both. However, speaking of quality, crossing from the left-hand side, Lenihan is going to stick that into his own net past Kaminski. You can tell exactly what's going to happen with, it looks like Sarr and Pedro chasing in behind him, presumably scaring him witless at this point. That looks like, is that Elliott getting brought down? Kind of draws the foul there. And for a top championship marksman, Adam Armstrong should probably be taking big chances like penalties, but the wily old Ben Foster dives to his left and makes the save. So 3-1 in this one, and I'm going to keep with my narrative of just Watford being absolutely ruthless, because again, if we look at the numbers here, they don't need much possession, they don't need many shots, they're happy to concede shots as long as they're not big chances, although you can see a couple of big chances in there. Look at the foul count as well. They committed 24 fouls. So does that tell me that they're a little bit nasty as well? But look, for your 34% possession, you get 4 big chances. And, well, if you've got Sarr and Pedro up top with Cleverley and Chalobah and Garner supporting, and good wing-backs, and Kapue and Deeney and Gray still to maybe come back, and Will Hughes, going to win most of your games, aren't you, if you create those big chances with that little percentage of possession. So, and look at that, half the amount of passes. So it looks like, I'd love to see, it's difficult getting into grounds obviously at the moment. I'd love to see this Watford team play in the flesh just to see how they do it, because I watched the game against Derby and, you know, it was just quite drab. Both teams back behind the ball. Maybe when you add in the likes of Sarr there and the extra midfielder in this one was Garner, wasn't it? Maybe that little bit of X factor adds it, but they look nasty, they look efficient, they look tight at the back, and they've got some real star quality. And Ivic, we said doing our research when he arrived, just has a massively high win percentage through his career. So let's see if it continues. I just wanted to bring this one up. That's the attack momentum there. Look at the bar graphs. And you will see what looks like, in terms of big chances, a comfortable win for Watford. They don't need the ball. And that must be very scary to other Championship teams. You have a team capable of winning games here that don't need the ball. And we've had that with, I don't know, Warnock, McCarthy, people like that over the years, where the trap is laid, they're very hard to score against, and then they just catch you, don't they? So, really liking the look of Watford. Looks very, very viable to me. Let's move on now. And it is another parachute team here. It's Cardiff 1, Bournemouth 1 over in Wales. I think, if I remember correctly, Cardiff's home record is actually quite bad and nowhere near as good as their away record. So they'll be pleased to get something from this, given, again, that we're against a powerful, I said we're there, the royal we, given that they are against, people pick up on these things in the comments on these videos, a powerful parachute team. Looking at the Cardiff team there, only really Bagan, the left back, is a surprise. Harry Wilson makes his debut in the 10 position by the look of it. That looks like a nice three off the front, doesn't it? Hoylett, Wilson and Ojo. And Kiefer Moore, is he being rested, or is it a battle with Glatzel for that shirt now? I said this about West Brom 1,000 times last season. The threat came from the three off the front. And I wonder if Neil Harris is trying to do that. Look at that now. Hoylett, Wilson, Ojo. And look, Wilson's going to get on the score sheet there. For Bournemouth, well, we've seen this before. Begovic, Hembling-Cook, Rico, Smith and Stacey fullbacks, Lerma and Gosling. Solanke and Danjuma and Stanislaus plays. So we've seen Surridge and Solanke up front. Different sort of iterations of this, maybe Billing in midfield. But we get the 3-4-3 sort of shape with Stanislaus, Danjuma and Solanke up top. Looking strong there for Bournemouth. I just wanted to play this goal out because I love this pass by Jefferson Lerma. If you look, Junior Hoylett is expecting him to try and play it around him. He's actually going to slip it in that gap in between the two. Perfectly weighted pass through, which just completely kills the Cardiff defence there for Stacey to then square for Dom Solanke to stick that one in. He might have a productive season. Solanke, what a save that was by Smithies. They're always interested in these ones because it's always the close range save where the keeper kind of tips it upwards and it goes onto the bar. They look really spectacular, far more spectacular than if you just safely pushed it away or something. I don't know whether it makes it a better save, the fact that it flings up and hits the bar, but great save nonetheless. And there is the equalising goal. Lovely, tidy finish by Harry Wilson, obviously playing against Bournemouth, who he's played for before. Interesting one, Wilson, in respect to the fact that we've had him here before at Hull and at Derby. He had a go at Bournemouth in the Premier League. He's back here now. Does this end up being his level? I don't know. I suspect he'll be expensive if anyone wants him, but couldn't get a Premier League gig, could he? So, interesting. 1-1. Here are the numbers. My God. 33% possession there, but 3 shots on target, 6 for Bournemouth, 6 corners apiece. Look at the big chances. Big chances are revealing. 0 for Cardiff to 3 for Bournemouth, and the woodwork hit twice. One, I think it was Stanislaus actually, one brilliant free kick that smashed against the bar. 5-4-1 to 2-6-6 on the passes. I wasn't at the game, but the numbers would intimate that maybe Bournemouth would have thought that they could have won that one. But remember, we'll get a lot of similar-ish numbers in Cardiff games this season. However, normally you'd expect a couple of big chances to be created given the quality when they do get the ball forward and the set play prowess as well. So, look, we're 3-game week in it, aren't we? And, a draw is okay. Context is all, though, isn't it? If there's a win before or after it. So, I think and I say 3-game week, I think the managers will have planned all 4 here of Saturday midweek. So they're going to judge this as a bunch, and they're probably all going to be aiming for 7 or 8 points. If anyone can get around the 9, 10 or 12, then they'll be overjoyed. Right, sorry, I've pressed that button twice now. Next up is Sheffield Wednesday versus Brentford up at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday still battling back. -4, so they could have gone within 1 point of Wycombe in this one. Brentford in a slightly different spot to Wednesday. Slightly different expectations, one would conclude. There is your Wednesday team there. Van Aken, Flint and Odebajo in front of Dawson. So no Iorfa there, and that may be an issue when we look at the second Ivan Toney goal. Spoiler alert. Harris and Reach are the wing-backs. Bannon and Alex Hunt. If anyone can tell me anything about Alex Hunt, not too familiar with him. Patterson, Marriott and Windass. So they're really loading it up top, giving themselves a chance to get goals there. And Marriott, can he now get a run of games and score some goals in the Championship? Just hasn't really happened for him yet, has it? Brentford, the standard, the classic 4-3-3 there. Raya, Henry, Pinnock, Janssen, Dalsgaard. You will see the little medical sign next to Janssen. He had to go out on 58, so we'll keep an eye on that. I guess he gets scanned today. Jensen and De Silva, either side of Vitali Janelt. We know that Norgard is going to be out for a fair old while, so let's see if Brentford can bring in another European player who I've never heard of, who's going to end up being brilliant, like they're very good at. And is this going to be the front 3 now? Sergi Canos on the bench, Mbuemo, Toney and Godos. Obviously, the mainstream press liked their BMW, which was very cringy last year. Ben Rama, Watkins, Mbuemo. I've said it the wrong way around, haven't I? Does Mbuemo, Toney and Godos have the same threat? GTM? No, I don't think so, but maybe we won't get the cringy nickname then. But they're scoring, aren't they? And another 2 goals for Ivan Toney. Here he is. No prizes for guessing who reacted quickest to that shot being parried. Toney miles away, and he's in superb form. Slams that one in with the left foot. Callum Patterson equalises. There's a brilliant cross on this. It comes in from the right, so I'm guessing it would have been Kadeem Harris. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Correct me in the comments. Great goal. Great cross. And that's what Monk will want. You're sticking Windass, Marriott and Patterson in with 2 wing-backs. You're basically saying service from the sides, and then if you can still get Bannon feeding things through as well, there should be goals. But will it be very open? I like it though. If you've got -12, got to win some games. Doesn't matter if you lose some, as long as you're winning some as well. You can't sit there and passively pick up 1 point at a time when you're on -12. No, sir. And I was mentioning Odebajo being at centre half. I'm pretty sure that's Toney just completely dominating him there and out-muscling him to head in from a corner. Yet, another goal for Ivan Toney. And I think I'm right in saying, I know he's got 7 now, but I think he's got 2 in each of the last 3 games. So Toney is on fire. Took him 2 games to click, basically. And now the goals are flying in. We said on the last video, it's a real beautiful example of setting up your philosophy and bringing the right players into that philosophy. Yes, managers have been doing that for years, knowing how they want to play and buying players to do it. But it just feels that how Brentford have now coupled that with data and bringing players through from a slightly more unknown route often. Obviously, Toney was banging them in for Peterborough and he's known from Newcastle. However, my point stands that I'm a big admirer of how they've done that. And he's slotted in and he is scoring the goals. Can he beat Watkins' total was what we asked the other day. I'm always talking about sustainable, viable wins and numbers backing stuff up. And Brentford are the darlings of numbers. If your numbers look like Brentford's, you'll be all right, probably. Although I know I'll get pushback on that saying, well, why haven't I got promoted then, Ben? Fair point. But, again, look at that. 54 in the possession, 14 shots to 6, 5 to 3 on target, 4 corners to 3, 2 big chances to 0. That's what you like to see. Creating lots of big chances. Creating big chances and not conceding many. I think always if you couple your eye test with the numbers and you come away and just you look down that row of numbers, they're all in your favour. You know that's sustainable. You're looking good. And I always feel it's great when goals are spread around, but you know that your team is set up for the striker to score. It's literally their job. So it bodes well for Brentford. We'll see what the Janssen injury looks like. The expectations are different on Brentford now. I think in the past, maybe 2 seasons back or last season, still a little bit of a case of, oh, well, Brentford is, this smaller club punching above their weight, but they bring in really good players and they play really good football and never go up. And then they sell the really good players and bring in some more. It just feels different this season, doesn't it? It feels like new stadium, established as a championship challenger. Everyone knows how well they run and how well they play. So can they deal with the expectation? Because there were accusations last year of them not being able to deal with the expectation when they did get into that position a couple of games left of the season. It just ran out of steam. But as you know, if you've watched the channel, big admirer of what they do. And it seems to be working again as they pull up just on the edges of the playoffs now, as the long autumn and winter is ahead, and they've been here before, haven't they? So with a lot of these players. For Sheffield Wednesday, well, I've liked what I've seen the first 6 games now. They've had a really good go. I think they've recruited well. They're going for it, which is the main thing, and there's plenty of signs to say that they can get the -12 out of the way and then pull themselves clear. They need to maintain what they've done in this first 6 games, and some probably. But it looks all right for Wednesday, doesn't it? They just need to not. They really, if they are going to lose games, and they are going to lose games, I just feel they can't afford to have a 3 or 4 game losing streak. I think they need to gamble, so they're going to lose games, and the 3 striking players, etc., kind of intimates they're going for it. But they need to respond quickly when they do. So the weekend will be interesting with that being said. Right, we are going next to Stoke versus Barnsley. And this one ended 2-2. Simos and Freeser, Campbell and Smith there you can see with the goals. Red card for Nathan Collins in this one. Stoke, solid with their selection and with their experienced team. Now you can see Angus Gunn has arrived there on the bench. Davies, Chester Suter Collins, Timon and Smith are the wing backs. Thompson, John Obi, Campbell, Fletcher and Powell up top there. Loads of strength on the bench as well, haven't they? Barnsley still with Adam Murray. I'm guessing he's the interim manager after Struber has gone. We will watch this space. They took ages to hire someone last season, didn't they? Walton, Williams, Hellick, Anderson, Britton and Adour. So that's Britton's debut, I think, after signing from Milton Keynes. Palmer and Mowat. Simos, Freeser and Woodrow is the permutation up front. But look, they're on the bench. Look, Thomas, Chaplin, Schmidt, Kane. Add that to Woodrow, Freeser and Simos. A lot of options up top. Need to settle on something, but I guess a new manager would be the first thing, wouldn't it? Unless they are just going to go with Adam Murray. We'll find out. 2-2 in this one. I wanted to just pay tribute to this assist by Coyle Woodrow. It is outstanding. You haven't seen the first bit there. He's controlled that and beaten his man already. And look at that reverse pass. He's going to play that completely into the space. You can see Simos already arriving. He's going to wait this perfectly in between all of those defenders whilst running. It's a blind reverse ball. And look where it ends up. So Simos arrives on it and sticks in with the left foot. Great goal. Brilliant assist by Connor Chaplin. A bit of a mistake here. A ball at the centre halves. They put them under pressure. And they kind of both of them go for it and neither of them clear it. It runs through. Campbell runs onto it. And it's a nice finish. It's right in the corner there. So bit of a error there for that goal. Yeah, look at that. A Karate Kid finish there by Frieser. Crossed, in-swinging cross there. I think it was Mowat. And yeah, really athletic finish that. Almost immediate reply. But then immediately after half-time, they're going to equalise again. We get a red card for Collins. And after all that uproar about Aguero putting his hand on... what's the female assistant called? Massey on her shoulder, and this was the worst thing in the world. John Obi gives this ref a big shove. So if Aguero's going to jail, then I'd imagine Obi's going to get hung, drawn, and quartered if he's judged by the same standards. Let's not get into that gender politics game. But there is a big mistake by Davis in the Barnsley goal. The cross comes in. It's not even a dangerous cross. He's got defender watching and covering, and he comes out, flaps, and tips it over the defender who was well positioned. And then it's Tommy Smith finishes it off. Real bad mistake. Points given away. A couple of errors for the goals as well. We've said, I mean, this game sums up both teams, doesn't it? We've said about Stoke's ability to, that they will just consistently pick up points. They might not blow you away a month at a time, but they're just going to keep churning it out with Michael O'Neill. Steady, hard to beat, take the chances, etc., etc. And Barnsley play nice football, score goals, not winning at the moment. So let's see if the numbers bear that out. Although, given that this is Stoke, I'm a bit surprised there. Look, 53 on the possession and 478 to 412 on the passes as well. 13 shots to 8 in Barnsley's favour, 7 to 3 on target. But then, look down a bit further at the big chances. 4 big chances for Stoke to 2 for Barnsley there. So every chance they could have won this game. Let me know what your thoughts were if you watched it. Get them in the comments. But I suppose Stoke playing at home with a big chance to be disappointed to not win that. And Barnsley, given the nature of the 2 Stoke goals, will be disappointed not to win that as well. So no one's happy. So everybody's happy. There we go. Next up, QPR 0, Preston 2. An away win, which I think I predicted actually. But I think that was one of my throw it up in the air and guess predictions. Here are the 2 teams there. Dieng in goal for QPR, Kakai, Dickey, Barbe and Wallace. And Wallace is going to concede 2 penalties in this game. And I've heard him criticised by some of our Rangers friends. I never want to dig a player out. I wish every player all the best. I've heard him dug out by some of our friends in the chats. And I remember last season, I went and saw QPR Forest. And I remember getting sent off in that game. They've just sold Ryan Manning. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. But Wallace didn't have a good time in this game. Cameron Ball, double pivot. Carroll, Chair, Samuel, Macaulay, Bon up top in a familiar 4-2-3-1 for Rangers. A familiar story that I haven't won since the opening day. Now, Willock, Adoma there on the bench. A couple of the new signings. Don't know where Lyndon Dykes is. Must be hurt. Let me know if you know. Rudd in goal for Preston. Rafferty, Bauer, Story, Hughes, standard. Brown and Ledson is the double pivot. We always get some a little bit of jiggery-pokery from Alex Neil, don't we? And here's his permutation up top there. Sinclair, Johnson as the 10, Potts, with Emile Rees up top, who Preston fans, and I am, to be honest, are hoping it's going to be the solution to a seemingly an obvious problem for Preston for a long while now. A focal point, a number 9 up the top there. Sorry, bit blurry on the iFollow coverage there. Penalty there, that is Wallace conceding the first one. And Dan Johnson, cool as you like, strides up, stops, waits for Iain to move, sticks it in the opposite corner, and then down the other end, Reese does him really. Look, he's running across him. You can see he's just leaving his leg there, and looking for it. But yeah, Wallace gets suckered in. Another penalty. And Scott Sinclair sticks that one over to the keeper's left this time. He can't buy a break, old Dieng there. 2-0. Preston. What does the data say? Well, it says what we expect it to say, doesn't it? That Rangers will have had lots of the ball, but Preston ultimately were more efficient with it. And there you have it. So 57 on the possession and 500 passes to 380. But 8 shots for Preston and the 3 big chances to 1. Obviously, in big chance terms, both penalties will go down as big chances. But hey, that's part of the game. And Preston, I remember last season, forced loads of penalties, didn't they? I remember Dan Johnson and Paul Gallagher seemed to be taking a penalty every other game. They do attack with intensity. They're happy to dribble, and they put defenders under pressure, don't they? With either direct play or direct running. So maybe that's why they do win plenty of penalties, Preston. Good old tactic. Nice, easy way to create big chances, isn't it? Winning penalties. Or is it? I don't know. So, there you go. 0-2 there. QPR versus Preston. And you will have just there got a glimpse at the table. Let's work our way down. We can kind of cover everything, really. I know we vaguely looked at it yesterday. So, Reading 3 clear at the top. Bristol City first defeat in second. Watford 3 wins in 4 now after that win against Blackburn, sliding in to third place. Bournemouth are hard to beat. Well, they're impossible to beat at the moment because they're undefeated. Only Bournemouth and Reading are undefeated. Sorry, they're statistically unbeaten, impossible to beat. You know what I mean, don't you? Before someone says, it's not possible to beat them. Millwall up into 5th, looking nice there. 10 points from the last 5. That'll do you. In 6th is Swansea, Brentford and Norwich just mobilising there, lurking on the edge of that top 6, ready to find a place in there that most people thought that they eventually would. Huddersfield, wow, 10 points in 4. Go Corberon, brilliant. Stoke, they're in 10th, but just look at the last 4 games and tell me they're not ready to churn. 8 points in the last 4. That'll keep you rising. Don't you worry about that. Borough unbeaten in 5. So you've got a Warnock lurking there with a team that's hard to beat at the moment. Luton, patchy there. 3 wins, 3 defeats in the middle. Cardiff, middling. 1-2, drawn 2, lost 2. Then Blackburn, after their good start, 1 point in the last 3, sliding. Preston going the opposite way, although it's spotty. But if you just take the last 3 games, 6 points in the last 3, they'll be happy with. But you know, they won't be happy with the entirety of those first 6 games. QPR, are we starting to worry? No wins in 5. Rotherham, well, plenty of mitigating factors with Rotherham because if you could get rid of those late goals, then there's certainly viability for more points than they've got. Birmingham, not scoring, not winning. Not a good combination. Need to get Jutkovic back, don't they? Coventry, no wins in 4. But they look like quite a good side, though, don't they? Forest, well, they've got Houghton now, so expect them to gradually churn their way up the division. Barnsley, standard Barnsley at the moment. They've got no manager. They're playing well. Everyone likes their players. They're scoring goals. They're not winning games. That's not a good combination either, is it? Derby, you can see there, 1 win in the 6 games over at Norwich in the last minute. I smell trouble at Derby. We'll see what happens. And they play Forest in the East Midlands Derby this Friday. Wycombe have lost all their games. Not good at all. They are looking like the ones to finish bottom. Wednesday have started well. You can see they've got Cardiff's record, so they're essentially playing like a sort of mid-table team, aren't they? But they've got to get over this -12. They've got to be consistent. If you roll that out and that becomes 4 wins, 4 draws and 4 defeats, then you have 16 points from 12 games. And, well, essentially you've got 4 points on the board. it just might be that Wednesday might have to play well and churn it for a long while to not actually get out of the relegation zone until, I don't know, game number 30 or something like that. But they've just got to keep it going, haven't they, Wednesday with the -12 to knock over. There's your top scorers. No guesses for who's at the top there. 7 goals in his last 4 games in the opening 6. Armstrong's got 5 and Mr. Penn. Sinclair's got in there from yesterday as well. Lucas Shaw scoring this midweek. AU 2. Yao Pedro now has 3 and has gotten onto that list. So keep your eye out for him. One more plug there. www.fanfirst.co.uk. Head over there. Just on a personal level, it's really cool that we now have businesses sponsoring the channel. So please go ahead and do the business and go and subscribe over there. Help out Matt at Fan First. Help me out. And for God's sake, it's fun. Go and rate some players there. And we need to say thank you as well as to fanfirst.co.uk, as to Russ, a fan and now friend despite Ben's terrible taste in football teams. Russ is the fan sponsor of all 1 million of the Championship review shows this season. There you have it. Now, because it's a 3-game week, what happens now is we go straight to the preview show tonight at 7 p.m, which will be live, and we try and do the weekend as per normal. So come and join me tonight, Thursday at 7 p.m. You can still watch on delay, but the joy of all of it is you getting your predictions in, and we know people like that facet of the show. So we will be live at 7 p.m. tonight. There'll be Dearly Departed stuff coming out tomorrow. And then Friday night, sadly, I will not be able to do either Villa Leeds or Forest Derby because I'm working. It's good that I'm working, but sorry, I can't bring you a stream of either of those. And then on Saturday, the Saturday Super Stream may be an incredible thing. I might try and do all the way through, 12:30 through till the end of time. So let me know if you want to see that or bits of that. But if I'm going to do Watford and it's Watford and Bournemouth, isn't it? If I'm going to do Watford and Bournemouth, then my feeling is why leave a gap between the 2 streams? But we'll see. We'll see how it pans out. But Saturday, I will likely be streaming all afternoon. And then Sunday, we're going to get the review show up in the morning, I think. So we'll go live. In fact, I'll put a poll up to say that I'm doing that. Yeah, we'll figure out what to do then. But I might be live at, say, 9:30 or 10 o'clock on Sunday morning for you to come and join. I'll put a poll up and you can let me know what you want to see there. Right, enough of me. See you tonight for the preview show of Game Week 7, despite the fact we're still processing Game Week 6. But such is the churn, such is the Championship. Is this going to be the year of the churn? Lots of three centre-halves and defensive teams and Chris Hughton churning, Vladimir Ivic churning, Gary Rowett, Michael O'Neill, Neil Warnock, the master of the churn. Will the churners beat the footballers? Thomas Frank and Daniel Farker and the like and the other parachute teams. Who knows? It's starting to look interesting now, isn't it? Tell me what you think in the comments. Over and out.